welcome to my weekly class to go. My name is Michelle Pepper. So every week I highlight a product from our Stampin' Up catalogue, usually a stamp set, and I demonstrate 2 cards in the class to go. And when you place an order with me, so this is for New Zealand residents only, when you place an order with me this week, you will get 4 card kits, 2 of each of for each of the card designs that I am demonstrating in the class to go. So this week we are featuring the Watercolor World Stamp set. So let's go and see what we're going to make. In today's class we will be working with the Watercolor World Stamp set, which is from the Stampin' Up mini catalogue January to April 2023. For your information, it is on page 61. Now, or you can also find it in my online shop. So, as always, I have 2 cards to demonstrate in my class to go. The first one today is this: wishing you joy in the next adventure. So it's a little bit of a fun one. Lots of blending and coloring, which is what this stamp lends itself to very nicely. Okay, so let's have a look at what the kit would look like. Okay, when you get these kits, so the way to get these kits is when you place an order with me for $40 or more, and this is for New Zealand residents only, I will send you for free 4 card kits. Okay, 4 card kits, 2 kits for this card, and then 2 kits for the second card, which I will also be demonstrating in this class. Alright, so what you will get is, it always comes with an envelope, so you'll get the cards and bits and pieces that I have pre-cut for you. The only thing I can't do is pre-stamp for you, because in compliance with Stampin' Up's policy, I am not able to send you any stamp images. Okay, so if you do not have the required stamp set to finish the projects as is, then you are most welcome to shop online with me, or use and substitute with whatever stamp set that you already have in your stash. Now, so don't so in your kit, so beware of these little bits and pieces that sometimes get stuck in your envelope. So just make sure to look in the envelope and just make sure you've got everything out of there. So you've got a little piece of vellum, which is going to be used for the sentiment, and you've got a couple of these rustic embellishment, so that is for those. Now, and then you've got the card base, which is in crumb cake, and a matte layer of the old olive, and then you've got 2 in basic white. Okay, so 1 you will need to use for coloring, and it will be matted onto this, and the other one just goes straight in on the inside of your card. So let's get that one out of the way, because that's nice and easy. Now, of course, you can stamp on the inside as well, but in my class to go videos, because I'm trying to keep it reasonably short, I just don't do that usually. So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like as it is, but you are most welcome to stamp something on it as is with your envelope, so feel free to stamp something on it too. Alright, so we've got that done. Now, it's a good idea. I always think it's a good idea to burnish your card. Okay, just to see how flat it sits now once you've burnished it a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put this out of the way. So we've got okay, I'm going to put this here for reference, but I might have to move it when we're doing some coloring. So there are some options, right? You can leave this as it is, straight edge, and clean and nice and clean, or you can do it what I'll be demonstrating, a little bit more kind of old worn feel of the card. Okay, so But I know, I get it, that not everyone likes that kind of ripping look and crumpling look. So you are most welcome to leave it as it is, okay? So, but what I'm going to demonstrate is the funny look, the crumple look. So I'm going to just work on this first because I need to get this to leave it some time to let it dry as well. I'm using one of our blending brush, and I'm using the blue, okay, the Tahitian Tide, because, you know, I just thought that's a nice color to use. So when we are doing coloring, blending, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick up some color. I know this looks green because I have used it with green, but I did take out most of the green, and so now I'm just swiping it with the blue. Now, in blending, generally it's a good idea to not start straight away onto your card. So start on the side, as you can see. I can, you know, there's a bit blotchy. So then I go on here. All right. So you can start lightly because you can always add more color, but it is a little bit hard to take off colors. All right. So I'm just going to, so it'll have maybe a little tinge of green, but I'm okay with that because we're talking ocean, right? So, but yeah, so you just keep doing this until you get the desired color. Okay, and you can see that I can still get like little blotches, and it will be because it's dependent on how much pressure I'm putting where, and also it might also depend on what's underneath here. So if I have something underneath, so don't worry about it, it will look all right. Okay, so this part is quite therapeutic in my opinion. You know, it's just kind of like you're just like an artist blending away your colors. I'm going to make it quite dark just because I can, or maybe I can just leave it lighter so you can see the difference. And then you can decide whether, when you come to do your card, you can decide whether you want it dark or light. But as you can see, you just slowly build it up, right, with more and more color. Right, so that's why I started with a clean paper, because it gets quite messy. Right. How is that? So as you can see, it is nowhere near as dark as what I've done there. Okay. So let's see how much time. I just don't want the video to take too long, but I do want it a bit darker. Yep, it is getting darker and darker now. Okay, going. Woo. Alright, that's probably enough. Alright, so I'm just going to close this so I don't accidentally get all inky with it, as it is. It gets quite inky. I'm going to put that away for now. And then the other thing I wanted to do with this is, see all these water droplets? Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with a brush, with one of these water painters. Right, so it comes in a set of 3 because they have 3 different size nibs. You can see that one is quite thin. That one is a big one. Okay, so it's drying a little bit. So it's your bigger brush. And then the one I'm using, it doesn't really matter which one. Maybe not the big fat one. So I shouldn't say that word. I meant broad. Okay. So now with this, I'm just going to open it up, and you can push this to just kind of get some water. I'm not sure if you can see it. Right. might not be that visible, but you're just basically getting some water out, okay? And then I'm just going to flick it, or use this, the lid, okay? Right, so you can see I've got some water droplets. No, that one's a big blob. It should be fine. That's the beauty of this, you know, you just kind of like playing with it. Not sure if you can see much of it. Well, there's a big blob there and a big blob there. I might just try and get a few more out. That's better. Alright, I think I'm quite happy with that. So it's just to create different texture. It's still not very, let me just see. Okay. Can overdo it sometimes. Alright, let's see, let's get that one out the way. Right, so now I've got some, I'm not sure if you can see it well. Now, going to be able to handle this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually rip it. No, actually I won't rip it just yet. I'm going to stamp on it first. Okay, so I know what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm going to use the Stamparatus for today. I don't actually need to, but, well, when I made the first card I didn't. I just have it on this, but actually for this purpose I might just do that just so I can then show you how to use the Stamparatus if you haven't had one. So this is the Stamparatus tool, which is really wonderful. So I'm gonna just put that there and just put that here and down here. Right. Now little New Zealand, Australia is down here. So I might just want to move it up a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, just put the plate over it now to pick it up. Okay, so now it's there. Now I'm using crumb cake for my ink. Now usually just like to put something underneath. Right, so I can, yeah, so I'm just gonna, because it's such a big stamp too. Right, I'm gonna color it. So the beauty of this, like, I'm not sure if you can see yet, because it's a distinctive stamp. So you can see, like, it has all the textured already as part of the stamp. So it's kind of done some shading for you already, which makes it wonderful to use. And then just stamp it right on. Can you see it? Right here. Right. So I'm just going to do that. Tap, tap, tap a few times. Voila. So if you want it darker, we can do that. So I'll try darker. Just, this is what it looks like with just one. Now let's see if we can make it darker. So the beauty of this Stamparatus is that. So sometimes you may have made a mistake when you stamp, like as in you didn't get all the images on. So just re-ink it, and because it's in place, it hasn't moved, it should sit properly. Having said that, hopefully it hasn't moved, and right on the camera and show the mistakes that it can happen. But no, it hasn't. So there you go. So now it's darker, right? So it's much more, what do you call it? Just darker. Just stumbling with my words. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to take that off now. And actually, what am I going to do? I'm just going to clean this for now, because I will need this for my second card demonstration. So let's do that. And for that one, I will be needing it. Oh, I've just used a chamois. So we've got these things called chamois, which comes in a big piece, but I've cut mine in fours. And actually it's very old, as you can see. It's very well used, but it comes in a nice purple color. Fresh Freesia, similar to Fresh Freesia color or Highlander, I'm not sure. I'm just going to put it back here because I will be needing this for later. Right, now let's move. I'm going to take that out. Let's move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to stamp on here. I'm just getting it ready for the next one. Okay, yep, it's all nice and clean. Alright, so yeah, so there you go. So you can leave it as it is if you don't like the ripping look. But here we go, I'm going to rip it. Now, I like to tear it towards me so that I have that white. As you can see, I've got that white line. So I haven't got much room here because I've stamped it quite high up. And hopefully it works. Okay, so there's no room. I'm just making sure I don't rip the image, right? So, and then I can just, alright, so I've done that. And then this side as well. I really don't want to rip off New Zealand down here. That's who we are. So I'm gonna just right, so 4 sides. So take a while. So I mean, you don't have to rush, you know, like, so just do it. Take your time doing this, and then there's no rush. I mean, I guess you could just go ripping it off like that, but you see, you might you might have less control over it. All right, and also you get wider white pieces, which you may or may not like the look of, but there you go. Okay, I'm going to do this side as well. I am going to cut into some of the images, but that's all right. So there. So now I've got that look. Now that's just scrap. Let me chuck that one out. So you can see it will be slightly different shade, you know, and slightly different shading as well. Each time you make this card, it will look slightly different. Okay, so then that can go matted on there, but you know, because we're going for that whole ripping look and old world look, actually, before we get it, oh, I didn't close this. That was dangerous. That was my soft sway. Now I'm going to do crumb cake. Again, I'm going to do more old world looking stuff. Okay, I'm just going to use the crumb cake, just yeah, and I'm just going to shade, just kind of do it on the side as well. So, okay, I'm just making it looking quite oldish. It's kind of like a treasure map, maybe. Okay, so I've done that. Quite happy with that. Now that water droplet, maybe I should have done the water droplet after, because look, now that's water droplet look grey, look brown. Oh well, it is what it is. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Okay. Do I like it? Do I not like it? Maybe I'll just tear some of it off. There. So all good. Okay. And maybe there. I'm telling you, just have fun. Okay, don't worry about this too much. There are plenty of cards that you can make that are straight and even, you know, but this is one that we can have fun with. Now this one here, again, I am going to do the worn out look, so I'm going to take a pair of scissors. I generally don't use my good scissors for this, but I'm going to, again, distress this. Okay, I'm just kind of making it look like it's been torn. But, you know, it's all on purpose. This is not the worst that I'm doing to this card, by the way. This layer. I might hear some if you were in the same room as me, if I'm in your room, when I go to do the next step, I might hear an audible gasp of, what? You can't do that to your paper? But yes, you can. All right. Okay, I'm giving you permission to. So I'm just making it look a little bit more worn, just giving it a bit more texture. But let me show you what I'm going to do next. I am going to just spritz some water on here, which I don't know what's happened to my water spritzer. No, right here. Okay, just a water spritzer with the lid. I'm just taking it off and just make sure I don't get sprayed on water. I'm just going to spray some water on here from a distance, okay? I'm just wetting it a little bit. Okay, not too saturated. Just to make it a little bit more pliable for what I'm about to do. All right, I am about to crumple it. Do I hear a gasp? Maybe, maybe not. Some of you won't be surprised because, you know, you've done this before. But some of you might be. Is it sacrilege? I tell you, we are just having fun. So that's just to get that old worn paper look, which we actually have we used to, I'm not sure if we still do, but we used to have an embossing folder that gives that same effect. All right, but here, there you go. I've just saved you some money. You don't have to buy that. You can just crumple your paper. All right. I'm just quite curious what you're thinking of right now. Right, so card's almost done. Okay, I'm just going to glue it on now. And also, this is great. The multi-purpose liquid glue is great for things like this because of the uneven texture. Right, so then that's just going to go on top here. Oh, yeah, you can just straighten it if you want to. Okay, this one lends itself to a masculine card too, I guess. And then that's just going to go on, straight on. I am not using dimensionals or anything like that. I'm just going to do straight glue. All right, I'm running out of glue. Let's have a look. You going to come out? Oh. Okay, maybe I better try and find where the other glue is. Right, let's get a second lot of glue. Okay, here we go. Need to go. All right. Now, let's put this on. How's that? Here you go. That's one card. And then with this, we just need the sentiment. And I am actually using a sentiment out of another stamp set called Greatest Journey, which is a wonderful stamp set. So I'll be doing a class with this in the very near future. So let me just find I had it all prepared. I just didn't know where I put it. Okay, I've actually already mounted it on. I'm using the same one. Okay, I'm using the same one as my sample. Wishing you joy in this next adventure. I think that's a very suitable sentiment for birthdays, for, I don't know, wedding maybe even. You know, yeah, I think it's suitable for birthdays as well, because by the way, I'm just using Versamark because I am going to heat emboss this in black. I think it's just suitable for birthdays as well, because every new year is an adventure. So I'm just, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It's just a little bit hard. I can't see if I'm stamping it straight because it's a little bit far from me, but I think it looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to take that off. You can see it's a watermark. Versamark is like a watermark, so it doesn't have any color. So I'm just going to dip this now in black embossing powder, which is the color of my choice. You can get, it comes in the basics pack, so you get black, white and clear, I believe. Then you can also get the metallic pack, which you get gold, silver and is it copper? I'll have to check that on the website or the catalogue. Okay, that's just from memory. Right, so it's got all my white. Now I'm just going to disappear for a sec because I have my heat tool on the other side of the room. Bear with me. Here, so we've got them all shiny and dark. Great. And so I can either put it up there or I can put it down here. So I don't really want to cover that. I just want to, yeah, I might just leave it there as where I had it before, or maybe a bit lower. Where shall I have it? Or maybe just above it. Okay, I'm just not going to take up too much of your time. Just going to make a decision. Okay, and because I'm going for the ripping look. Alright, so I'm just going to stick with that. And put it up there. Now, because it's vellum, it might show up. So I'm going to do my rustic dot first. Kind of like there and there, happy with that. And then I can put my glue on here. In fact, actually, what I might do is use glue dots. I'll use a glue dot for these. Right, there's my glue dot. So using the pick tool to pick it up and put it on here. I might have had to roll it. Let's make it smaller. Alright, so then I'm just going to maybe put it about here. Alright, so card number 1 as it is, okay? Now I will show you what it looks like when it's straight. So then you can decide which one do you prefer. Okay, now what I've done here differently as well is, as you can see, Australia and New Zealand, this part is on in the middle of the card rather than on the side. And all I've done is I have stamp that towards there and then restamp it on here. Okay, I've just, because you know, depending on where you are, that's how you see the world. Yeah, okay, so that's my 2 cards, and so that's, sorry, the first card done. Alright, so card number 2. Now there's a little tip on this one that I wanted to show you guys. So let me just put this colours away because we don't need this, and I just want to make it a little bit tidier, my space. Okay. Now I'm going to take out my other blending brush. So with this card kit, okay, so this is card number 2. What I've done is I've used the Watercolor World Stamp as a background, and I didn't stamp it like as a world, so I've just used it as a almost like a watercolor background. Okay, so you can do this, yeah, you can use that for in that regard and for that purpose rather than always as a whirl. Now the card kit, okay, we just need one, not both. You will find that what I've given you here is everything in white. So now you're going, how does it work? Because my card is in pink. All right, so you've got these 2 layers, a circle and a scallop circle, which are both from the layering circles dies. And so you can see here, I've got lots of layers. I've got a basic white card base. And just double check that there's nothing else in the envelope. No. Okay, so the envelope, the card base, and then you've got these layers, basic white layers. So one slightly smaller than the other. Okay, and that goes on the inside. And then you've got this as well, which is also the 2 layers. Now one layer has all the cut holes from these. Okay, so I'm also quite frugal, but I'm wanting to teach you to be frugal with your paper as well, with your cardstock. So you yeah, a little goes a long way, right? So those 2 are cut out, and so that is going to be the base for the outside layer. All right, so it's going to go like this and go on top of that. So what are we going to do? How are we going to make it color? What I've done here is in pink. I'm just wondering whether I should show you in a different color. Trying to decide what to do. Have you guys got a favorite color? What color can I choose? I should have probably thought about this ahead of time. I'm going to go, what's a nice color to go with? Green, coral, poppy parade, cherry cobbler, starry sky, orchid oasis. Maybe we should try orchid oasis. Haven't done that. Right. Okay, let's do this. I know I've done it in pink, but I wanted to show you how you get, so the versatility of this is you can do this with whatever color you so desire, right? So let's start with this part. And you can do this, and there's also little gems, iridescent gems that come in your kit as well. Yeah, why not? Why don't I just show it to you in this? So all I've done is, this is a good way if, what you need basically is an ink pad, especially if you can get the marker pen with it, and also is this the right color? Is this Orchid Oasis? No, this is dark night of navy. What's this one? Balmy blue. Oh, Tahitian tide, I think. Okay. So that, and also ink refill. Maybe I don't have it. I must have it somewhere. Okay, but a refill. So sorry that this is not in the right color, but just pretend. Okay, sorry. it's the same color. So what you need is when you have these, then basically you are set for a long time, or life if you like, because these will go for ages, right? And then you can basically, if you don't have the cardstock, you can make the cardstock with all these, with any of these available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one way. One way is to do this, or yeah, you can either do this, maybe I'll do it here. All right, you can do it like that. It's a very juicy, this is a very juicy stamp pad. So it's also a good way to do this if you are wanting to just get rid of excess, what do you call it? Ink. Right? So it kind of looks ugly, but that's all right. But that is going to go on top of that. And now you wouldn't be able to tell. Right, so that's one way of doing this. Okay, I'm just going to close this. As you can see, it's going to get very messy very quickly. Alright, so, but before I put this on, put that layer on, I'm going to stamp. Right, and I'm going to, now it's going to be quite dark. Alright, I'm just going to go stamping on this. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to be using that spritzer again because I'm going for a watercolor look. Although it's because, as I said before, actually maybe I won't go for the water, because it's already a watercolor world, right? It's already got the shading, so it might be fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work different areas. So I'm going to do it maybe like that. Okay, so I've got that. Now you might be tempted to actually stamp again, but because as you can see, some are on here and some have not even been used, so you'll get different patches, which I don't want. Okay, I want even, so I'm just going to re-stamp each time, re-ink each time. Right, and then now I'm going to go, do I have a special way? I'm just playing around. I don't want obvious, like the whirl somewhere. I'm just going to do that and see what it comes like. Because I can't remember what I did with the others. Right? So that might be a little bit obvious, or maybe not. Okay, that could be a bit obvious. Maybe I'll do it this way. Okay, now just probably a little bit there. Okay. There. So you would not know that I've used the Watercolor World for this background. Okay. Right. So you can either leave it as it is, or if you feel there's too much white, we can always fill it in with your brush. I'm going to show you what I do. Just going to move these out of the way so I don't flick ink on them. So I'm just going to go flick, flick. Not sure if you can see, but I've got speckles now all over. All right. Okay, put that one away. So, not sure if you can see, but now I have little specks everywhere. Okay, So there you go. So what else do I need to do for this? Right, for the front, I need the ribbon. So you can see that, that's the ribbon. Given you a white piece of ribbon again. So you can use the alcohol marker or our stamping blends, and they come in sets of 2 for each color, the dark or the light. I'm going to try the light first. This is the light one. I'm going to try for the light first because if it's too dark, if it's too light, I can always add more color. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to color it and turn it from a white ribbon to a Orchid Oasis ribbon. Isn't that neat? I love that we can do so much with our white. So we do love our nice basic white cardstock for stamping, but we can do so much more with it too. And also the white ribbon, so versatile, you can just change it to whatever color you want. I just love our stamping blends, basically. So now you got Orchid Oasis ribbon instead of the white ribbon. You might get inky too, so might just do that just in case. They do dry really quickly, okay, but just in case. And that's just to get rid of excess thing. Okay, so now we've got 2. Now what else do we need? We need that white layer. It was a scallop in white, and now we're gonna use the same technique to change it into the purple. So got that. Or I could use my blends as well to do that. Okay, so either I do this. Actually, in this case, I'm going to use, because it's a smaller surface, I'm going to use that. Alright, so I'm just going to use that to color. Because I only need a little bit showing. Because only a little bit of it is showing. Alright, just double checking, just lift it up because, you know, okay, righty-o, and then that layer will go on top of that and you would not know. Alright, so I'm just going to use that. Now I'm going to use the same, just so I don't take up a lot more of your time. I'm just going to use the Wishes for a Beautiful Birthday stamp that I've already had mounted. Sentiment that I've already mounted, so I'm just going to tap that color and put that on here. Boop, done. So yeah, so that is the reason why I've given it to you all in white, because then you can basically use whatever color you want or whatever color you have to complete this. Alright, so I'm gonna just put some glue on here. Because there's liquid glue, it will spread. So just going to leave it like that. Okay, so then there's one more thing to do, which is on the inside. So the inside of the card. You know, remember I said that there is a layer for the inside of the card as well. So the top layer, we're going to leave it as white so that you can write on it. And then this one here is what we can do. So again, use your ink pad or use your blending stamping blends. I love using our stamping blends. In case you haven't noticed, if you've watched me for a bit, you will see that I do use it quite a bit, because I think it's so cool. Not just for coloring, but for useful things like this. Right, just gonna make sure that our color is in. Oh, I might need more than that, so I'm just gonna layer it and see if I've done enough. Yep, I might need to do a little bit more. So this one here. Alrighty, so that's going to go on top of that. Yep, perfect. So it's quite close to the edge, but not too close because it's liquid glue, so it will ooze out when you are pressing it down. So don't get it too close to the edges. Right. So that's done. You would not know, right, that the inside of it, or unless you want to look at it from the back, but you won't be looking at the back because you will be gluing that down too. But we're nearly done with our second card. And so I hope you like this tip on what to do when you don't have the right color cardstock. I mean, it's much easier to have the color cardstock, so I highly recommend that you get, if you like a color, get the whole set, right? Get the color, get the cardstock, the ink pad, the refill, so you can always refill your ink pad. Now, did I do the bone folder thing? Probably not. So I'm just going to do that now. Just let it sit flat. And then this layer, this is exactly the same size as the front. Okay. Yeah, so get the whole set, you know, like the ink refill as well. And then the stamping blends, which comes in a pair, a light and a dark. So essentially you have two colors from that one set. The markers are a little bit more tricky in that because we don't sell them individually anymore. We sell them in packs, sorry, in the group of 10, like in the color families or the in colors. So, you know, you won't just get Orchid Oasis, you get a set of 5 different colors from the in colors pack. Right, so that's that. Now what do I need to do? That layer goes on top. Right. So just putting that down there. And then that goes on there. And then that I'm just going to tie into a bow. Just make a bow out of this. Ooh, what a mess. I haven't not done a very good job of this bow. But let's see. That's what happens when you try and do things on video. Just feel the pressure. Not sure why it's so stiff. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? Right, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. And that's going to go there. Or I can put it on here. I'll just do it on here. It's like finish that. Oh, I did actually have a layer of vellum, so I've included a layer of vellum here as well. And you can, what I've done there is I've actually I've bannered it. Okay, you can leave it as it is straight, or you can banner it. So cut a slit in the middle, and then from the corner to the slit, and from the corner to the slit, pull it off, and there's your little banner, and then that goes on there. So what I've done is I'm going to put that piece. Now I'm just wondering, I feel like this is such a mess. So let me just put all this aside. I'm going to turn this over. Oh, it's just as bad. I'm going to take that off. Right, so that you can, it's a little bit neater. Right. What do I need? I need some dimensionals. And I'm going to put this, right, I'm going to do that on here. 2, 3, 4, just a cluster of them. Oh. 2, 3, 4, and then, okay, what I want, just wanted to put it on here, and then I can do this like that. Put it quite high, but I do that so that I know where I can put my glue, because this is vellum and it kind of is see-through. So if I can do it on here, right, then I can just put that on here. And then I need a piece of glue dot for my ribbon. Get rid of that. This. And then that was just going to go like so. And ta-da! Card number 2. Not quite. Just remembered I've got my gems to put on here. So gems I always do in 3s. So I've just done 1 here, and I think I've given a small one as well, right there. Doing a cluster of them maybe here, so you can see. Right, ta-da! So I've got my gems on there. So there's those. Card number 2, so you get those kits. And card number 1 is, so this is all using Watercolor World. This was card number 1, plus a variation to show you what it looks like when it's when you don't cut it, when you don't rip it. Oh, just noticing that it's out of frame. So yeah, there you go. So you get 4 card kits to make these cards, and if you're using the Watercolor World Stamp set, and whatever sentiment that you have that can go with it. Otherwise you could use the framed florets, which is what I've used, and Greatest Journey. And so yeah, if you want to use those, but you get these kits, card kits, when you place an order with me this week for $40 or more, and I'll send you these 4 card kits for free. I'll post them on Monday 27th. So you just have to make sure you place your order by Friday the 24th of March. All right, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.